Bead Company, and I want to do a product spotlight for you today on some new products that we have. These are Centerline Rings. So I have a video already on the Centerline bracelet, which if you're looking for a gift, this is a great gift because it's adjustable. And just like the bracelet is adjustable, and in the video I showed how to add and create a design with delicas as well as seed beads. Just in the same reference as doing that is the Centerline ring. So one thing you can do is simply string on to the Centerline ring. You can also string to keep it open, as well as play around with all the different loops. The Centerline rings come in a number of different actual coatings on them, and they come in gold plated, which is going to be that bright gold. They come in a rose gold, which is that pretty coppery gold, the rhodium, which is a little bit darker, and then the silver plated. The Centerline rings are sold per individual one, and they're a 10 by 20 millimeter for those Centerline. And the fun thing is you really can play around and customize these. I was going to do something with some ultra suede on here and then actually sew into it and connect the ultra suede. So I'll probably have a picture on the header of that for you. And then also just doing the regular seed beading. So again, we have the bracelets in a number of the different coatings. And because it is adjustable, it makes it really easy as a gift or a sell item too, that it doesn't matter exactly what size you're making because it's able to be expanded. So these Centerline rings, if you do need to get any of them, down below the video, there's a date stamp that says when the video was actually published, the published date. If you look below there, there's a little down arrow or a button that may say show more. You can click on that and that'll give you links to these Centerline rings. So the Centerline rings, like I said, they have those 4 coatings. And what I'm going to show you is just a simple design. I'm using some Matubo 8 seed beads and some 15 seed beads. And I'll use the gold plated one for that. If you do want to create, like I said, there's another video for the Centerline bracelet. In the Centerline bracelet video, I show you how to go quickly along the back. You can also go back through the seed beads and reinforce them. You can do a peyote strip. You can sew something on top. You can do some actual bead embroidery as well. So have fun with it. What I'm going to be using is a size 10 English beading needle, and I have some 0.006 wildfire beading thread in my gray color. That's going to go nicely if you are going to see the thread a little bit with the rhodium and with the silver plated. If you don't want to see, we also have KO thread in gold, which would match nicely with the gold plated. And then also, depending on how much thread you want to see, you can see here I have the gray in that gold tone as well that you really kind of don't see, especially depending on the color size that you're using. So just like the Centerline bracelet, the ring, like I said, has 11 holes and then has that opening in the middle. The opening in the middle is the same as the bracelet, which allows for 3 delicas long, 4 15-0s, and you can fit 3 11-0 seed beads in there as well. It's also going to hold 2 8-0 seed beads. So you can go just directly in the middle. You can build on top of. Here I have some demi rounds in the 11-0 on the sides and then kind of that puffed look with a Monty sitting on top. So I have a 15-0 seed bead on the end of the thread, and I'm simply going to do a very, very quick stitch. So I'm going to go up through the back of the bracelet or the ring here, and that seed bead's just going to hang out at the back of it. Along the top, I'm going to add some 15s and some of those turquoise Matubos. Again, I said it's about 2 long that'll sit in there, and then 2 of my 15s, and sew directly over to the next hole across from it. Coming out the back then, those seed beads will just lay right along the top of the ring. If I want to reinforce, I can pull and go on top of the bracelet and the outside of the ring, which I actually haven't done at all with any of the other designs, so I'll do that. I'm going to go back through all the beads with my needle going from my right to my left, and that's going to put some of that thread on the outer edge of the ring that you'll see. To mimic that, I'm going to go up through that seed bead or that loop there and come on out. I'll then jump over to the next hole, sew down, and then add my seed beads. 1, 2, 2, so I have 2 15s, 2 Motubo 8s, and 2 15s over to the other side. It's a good idea, because it is a ring, to get 2 pieces of thread between each line of your beads. Go straight back over and pull. So you can see the look there. Those Motubos are going to be a little bit wider than the hole size, so they're going to sit up ever so slightly, which is just going to add to the look. And all you're doing, it's just as simple as sewing on a button, is progressing from one hole to the other hole. And I'm just adding my seed beads and my beads right along the top edge. So again, 2 beads, 2 beads, 2, jump over to the next hole. From the next hole then, I'm going to go to the outside, back through the beads to get that thread on the outer edge and to hold those beads nice and in place. Again, I'll go underneath there so it mimics, so that way I can see if I'm exposing thread on both ends, that I want to be able to see it on both sides. So that way there's a consistency to it. In the bracelet design, if you want to watch that one, I went back through the holes and did not go through the outer portion of the bracelet at all, but I do have thread running along the back of it. Also, I show how to go through that you're putting the thread just right next to it as well. So I'm going to continue on building in my 11 rows of my beads right along the edge here of the ring. As I finish going through and adding in all of my seed beads, you can see kind of that nice fun bumping effect that I'm getting because of the space issue with the 8/0 seed beads versus the 11/0s that are going to sit right next to one another. So the 8/0s, you get kind of a little ridge design, which makes it even more cool to play around with and to do that design. To do the best of the thread, or the rest of the thread, I still have my stop bead on the start. What I'm going to do is just weave my thread up and down, and you won't see it basically from hole to hole till I get back to the start. You can also use this as an opportunity to kind of reinforce the threads, go through some seed beads if you want to as well, and just kind of take it up and down the line, running right along the back. And I'm going to make sure that it's not over my exterior line, because I do want it to be nice and consistent as I look. So I'm just going to get my threads basically in place, that I'm getting both in the same place, and then I will simply knot off the threads. So it'll be nice and easy that you won't even see any of the thread in the back. And obviously you need to get that stop bead off, because you don't want that stop bead at the back of your ring bothering you. So I'm coming out right along the end here. You can see the inner area there and the little loops going from side to side. As I come back through that starter one then, I'm going to go back through those beads, which will put me back to the starter bead. And then from there, I'll go down and simply tie these 2 thread ends together. If you want to, then you can also do a dab of super glue glue, or in my case, I'm just going to burn them down with a thread burner and burn those thread edges down nice and flush, so that way it doesn't bother you as you are wearing the ring. So again, you can really have fun with these, play around with the designs. Bugles will look really nice in it too. Bugles will give it a very modern look, a very almost Sundance look. If you want to get some bugles in and mix the metals, the silver and gold like I did here, you can play along with those as well. So again, just taking my thread zap or my thread burner, I'm going to burn those thread ends down, get them pushed back towards the bracelet or the ring itself, and then burn them down right at the ends, just so you don't feel it and so that knot stays together. Again, if you need any of the materials to do this ring, you can go back to the beginning of the video to where I list off the different rings and the center line. You can also, if you want to, go below the video again to that date stamp. From there, that show more button below will take you to links for the products at our website. Again, play around with all the different things, bugles, 3mm bugles, the delicas will give that nice kind of center look. These 8/0s have that fun rigid look, and you can even do a seed bead embezzled or a bezeled seed bead effect, as well as some bead embroidery, and get that down on there as well. Again, keep in mind that not only do we have the rings, we have the bracelets as well that you can check out online also. As always, if you'd like to, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel so you get regular updates on new products like these fun Centerline rings. Also, new beads coming out, new designs, and new ideas as well. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest, as well as join our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. It's a wonderful interactive group that you join on Facebook and have a kind of plethora of inspiration there and people that are super helpful in designing as well as answering questions and giving you feedback. As always, thank you so much for watching this little product spotlight on the Centerline rings, and have fun getting yours and creating.